What's going on, y'all? Professor Leis here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the prompt for major essay project number 2. In the introduction to orienting, the first section of Habits of the Creative Mind, Richard E. Miller and Ann Jurecic explain that their work on this book began with the premise that the best writing develops from the exercise of habits of mind that include curiosity, creativity, attentiveness, openness to new ideas, persistence, flexibility, and reflectiveness. For major essay project number 2, you will choose 2 of these habits of mind that resonate most with you. Using details, quotations, and examples from at least 3 of the short essays we've read so far from Habits of the Creative Mind, define what these 2 habits of mind mean. Your definition of these habits of mind should not simply be dictionary definitions. Instead, you will examine the ideas that Miller and Jurecic explore in the book to create your own definitions of the 2 habits you choose. As beginning writers, how can we practice these 2 habits of mind in our approach to writing? What details from the readings can you use to define these 2 habits? In what ways have you begun to practice and adopt these 2 habits in your approach to writing? Use specific examples from your work and experiences in our class so far. Your polished draft will be assessed based partly on the criteria outlined on page 173 of Habits of the Creative Mind. A more specific rubric will be introduced during the composition process. This essay project is your chance to put into practice all of the concepts we've been reading and learning about so far this term. Be sure to review your notes and reread important selections we've covered from Habits of the Creative Mind. Resist your familiar habits and practices as writers. Try something new and exciting, follow your curiosity, take risks, and attempt to have fun while composing this essay. And I mean that last thing, non-ironically. I'm not being sarcastic. Attempt to have some fun. It's possible, y'all. You just gotta attempt it. Okay, well, let me go ahead and break down what this prompt is asking us to do. So as you'll recall from the very first section of Habits of the Creative Mind, in the introduction to the first section, Orienting, Miller and Jurecic talk about the habits of mind that they think best demonstrate or best suit experienced writing or high quality pieces of writing, right? So they're identifying these habits of mind as the ones that make or help lead to more successful, higher quality writing, right? So what your job is to do is you want to choose 2 of these habits of mind. So curiosity, creativity, attentiveness, openness to new ideas, persistence, flexibility, and reflectiveness. So you're going to choose 2 of those. The ones that you think are the most interesting, that resonate the most with you. And what your job is to do then is to look through the various readings that we've done so far from Habits of the Creative Mind and see what Miller and Jurecic have to say about those specific habits of mind, or maybe indirectly related to the habits of mind. So perhaps they're not tying something explicitly to the habit of mind, but you as the reader and as the writer of your essay might notice how something connects to one or both of the habits of mind that you select. So you want to go through at least 3 of the short essays that we've read so far from Habits of the Creative Mind, and you want to pull out examples and quotations. That's really important. You want to quote from those essays. That's something that we're going to be working on in this essay project, developing our ability to integrate quotations effectively into our writing. So we want to look for specific details, evidence from the readings, from at least 3 of the readings that we can use to define our habits of mind. And then we also want to see how we can apply, or how we have been applying, those habits of mind in our process so far with our experience working on our writing in our class. So a little bit of context here. Our first major essay project was challenging us to look back at our experiences with reading and writing up until this point, up until this class. So by looking at those experiences, we can better understand how we think of ourselves now as readers and writers. So that essay was challenging us to look back at our experiences. Now we're kind of looking at our current experiences with reading and writing. What are we learning about reading and writing based on the things that we've covered from Habits of the Creative Mind, based on our understanding of these habits of mind up here, and based on the ideas that Miller and Jurecic explore. So that's what we're challenged to do in this particular essay project. So the formatting parameters for this essay project are, we're building on what we were working on in Major Essay Project 1. So by the time you submit your polished draft for this essay, it should be a minimum of 5 full pages. Okay, so a minimum of 5 full pages and at least 9 paragraphs. So remember, these are only minimums, so you can write more than 5 full pages, but I don't want you to write fewer than 5 full pages. So not 4.5, 5 full pages or more, and at least 9 paragraphs. You can write more than 9 paragraphs. In fact, I encourage you to strive to write more than 9. However, I don't want you to write fewer than 9. It's something that we're practicing on. And then, of course, we got 12-point Times New Roman font, double spaced for the entire document, no extra spaces between any items, and 1-inch margins on all 4 sides. And because we will be quoting from Habits of the Creative Mind, we're going to need to create a works cited page for that text. So that's something that we're also working on in this essay project. So part 1 is draft 1 of this essay, which is 4 full pages in length. So keep in mind that's a little longer than our work on Major Essay Project number 1. So we want to make sure that we're working toward that. So 4 full pages in length, and you're going to have that feedback letter to accompany it. And our due date is Sunday, and I believe I made a typo on this. So I apologize, everybody. It's the importance of checking your work. This is a teachable moment here. Professor Leis even makes mistakes. So let's check this calendar while I'm recording my video. In mid-video, I did make a typo. So this is Sunday, the 26th of February. I'll go ahead and correct that. So should be corrected in the actual prompt. Anyway, draft 1, 4 full pages with the accompanying feedback letter due Sunday, the 26th of February. Part 2, practice session 1, part 1, structure after the fact, and practice session 1, part 2, playing with alternatives. That is due Sunday, the 6th of March. Now this is the same pair of practice sessions that we did for Major Essay Project number 1, but we are now applying it to our work with the second essay project. So that process, that strategy we employed with the index cards and shuffling them around, we're still going to use that. We're still trying to adopt that into our writing practices because it's a really successful, effective way of helping us to organize and figure out the structure of our pieces of writing. So we'll still complete that. And then part 3, polished draft, which is, of course, the 5 full pages with the accompanying cover letter, and that is due Sunday, the 12th of March. All right, y'all. Well, if you have any questions at all, please reach out to me. Please send me a message on Canvas, or you can email me, but please reach out. I'm available. I want to help you, and I'm looking forward to reading your essays. All right, y'all. Take care.